Hey there folks, Ben Farrell for Benn Farrell Freelance here. This is episode 23, and this week we are talking about writing on a deadline. Hey there, Ben Farrell for Benn Farrell Freelance. This week we're talking about writing on a deadline. And for those of you who don't know, with my freelance business, I am always looking at meeting a deadline, especially for my journalism work. Now, for some of you, I'm sure you have absolutely no desire to learn to write on a deadline, but I just wanted to show you what it looks like for those of you who do. Now, for me, I always work really well on a deadline. I'll even procrastinate until my deadline gets closer, so that way I can really start digging into everything, focus really well, and dig out what needs to be done. Now, to be honest, nothing excites me more than writing on a deadline. I get such a charge when I finally file everything on time. However, sometimes you run into an opportunity where, let's say a publisher wants the first 3 chapters of your book and you only have 2, but they want it by the weekend. And let's just say a producer wants to look at your screenplay and you only have half of it done, but they like your story idea and they want to see it within the next couple weeks. So sometimes, even as a creative writer who's looking to get published or produced, you may actually find moments where you are writing on a deadline. So I felt, as a timely example, is I am actually driving up to Longmont at this moment to participate in the NoCo 24 Theater Festival. It's a 24-hour theater festival, of which I was actually selected to be one of its playwrights. So the concept for a 24-hour theater festival is it goes from being conceived and written to rehearsed and curtain goes up within 24 hours. So for my part in the festival, starting at 7 o'clock tonight, I'm gonna have to write a 10-minute play from soup to nuts, ready to start rehearsing within 12 hours. So that, in my opinion, is the definition of working on a deadline. So I am on my way to my hotel in Longmont, and I should get there just 2 hours before I'm supposed to meet the festival director. And I'm gonna bring you along for the entire process because right now I have no idea what I'm gonna write, but whatever I'm gonna write is going to be on stage starting at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. Okay, so I got to Longmont, I got to my hotel, got cleaned up a little bit, and now I'm headed over to the playwriters meeting for the festival at 7 o'clock, which is in 30 minutes. Comedy? Musical? What? So we're done with the writers meeting. We pulled numbers out of a hat, our genre out of a hat, and a curveball that we have to incorporate into our story. So after all is said and done, I'm going to have a 10-minute play with 2 actors. I'm going to be 4th in the lineup. My genre is melodrama, and my curveball is brain freeze. So now I go back to the hotel room to begin working on this, and so I can have it done and delivered 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. So it's a couple hours since the playwriting meeting, and as things turn out, I do have another story that I have to file for the newspaper I write for. So not only am I here on a deadline for the 1-act play I'm supposed to write by 7 tomorrow morning, I actually have to get this story filed, which is actually just a few minutes away, and then I get to start working on the play I'm supposed to write. This is what it means to be on a deadline. Sometimes you'll have more than one project, and they both meet the same deadline. You still got to make them. Being on a deadline is really about focusing. One of the ways I do that is on my Google Calendar. I'll actually block in times to devote towards researching and gathering information and other things that I need to do for the project that is on the deadline. Now, the other thing I would suggest is go back to the episode labeled Writing Spaces and give that a look because your space is going to be very comfortable. Right now I'm in a hotel room and this is completely out of my element. So I'm kind of in new waters here myself. But focus is going to be key, obviously, when you're on a deadline, and having that pressure on me is probably going to get me through. Well, it's about 10:45 now. I filed my story for the newspaper, and I at least have an idea for what I'm going to start putting together for my 10-minute play. Starting to get a little tired. Hey again, it's 11:20 now. I have 2 completed pages, and I'm well into my 3rd, so I'm hoping in the next hour to maybe an hour and a half I should have everything done. I'm about to wrap up page 6 and a couple more pages down the road. I just read through what I have. I have about 8.5 pages, and wouldn't you believe it all comes in at 8.5 minutes. I have to come up with another page and a half. I'm really tired. but I've made some revisions to the play, and it is coming in close to 10 minutes with some dramatic interpretation. But I think my part is done. I'm going to bed. It's the next morning. I stupidly put my phone on silent from the playwrights meeting the night before, forgot to take it off silent, and I didn't catch my alarm. Luckily, the theater is only 10 minutes away from my hotel. We're in downtown Longmont. I'm walking up on the theater right now. I just got done meeting with my director, Amber, and going over some new jokes for it and some new ideas, and it should be a pretty good contribution to their festival. Another thing I just wanted to quickly say is, even though I was 30 minutes late this morning, if you're writing on a deadline, just don't panic. Stay calm, do what you gotta do, get the work in, communicate with the person you're submitting it to, just let them know it's on its way. So now I get a chance to go back to my hotel room and go back to sleep. So I'm not staying at the best hotel, and I'm not going to say which one it is. Even though it's not the best, it does grow on you. No, seriously, I spent one night and I have something growing on me. Festival just got finished. We're here with, what was your name?
My name is Devin Mack.
Raynard Starling.
And they just got done doing my contribution to the festival. They were fantastic. They looked like they had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun watching them. So overall, happy to have this one out in the world, and we made our deadline.
Can you handle this?
So I'm back home. It was a great festival. I think our play really turned out well. I was really happy with it, and I'm glad I made that deadline, obviously. Amber Salas was the director. She did a fantastic job, as did the two actors. I'm really looking forward to seeing anything those three do in the future. And because of what they did and what I gave them to start with, we ended up winning the Audience Favorite Play Award for the festival, as well as the Best Incorporated Twist. So thank you, the three of you out there who put that play together. Thank you for the people who put the festival together. I had a great time. So let's wrap up. If you're writing on a deadline, keep your focus. Find a way to do that. Find a comfortable writing space. Maybe create yourself a schedule. Make sure you take breaks as well. There's nothing wrong with that. Doesn't mean you're losing focus, but you do need to take a break once in a while. And lastly, don't panic and keep those communication channels open with who you're submitting to. This is Ben Farrell for Benn Farrell Freelance. Thanks for hanging out with me.
It's been 2 months, guys. It's time for a new contest. Come on.
Yeah, so we gotta have 3-sentence stories sent our way once again for the next 2 months. Tell us your 3-sentence stories to go with this photo.
I know, guys, that was a pretty crazy photo.
So get those 3-sentence stories in. If your name is pulled out of our drawing, then you'll win a free copy of one of my stage plays.
And this stage play that we are doing is Morning News.
Morning News. It's a play about small town news, and you can learn more about it by going to benfarrellwriter.com.
So stay safe and keep watching our video. Bye.